Even to transplant our eyes, it takes 98,000 rupees. That means that the value of our body is not merely 110 rupees. Means our existence is not just limited to this body, we are something else. We discussed the analogy of car and a person sitting in car also, that if a person is sitting inside a car, he uses that car, but it's not that he becomes the car. Okay. Similarly, we are also using this body, but we are separate from this body, because when the body dies, we don't die, we still continue to exist. Like people say in general terminology that if someone dies, then people say that wo chal base. Chal base means he went somewhere, right? So why should they say chal base? Body to waहीं पर है, right? So that itself means that we are not just this body. So these were some logical evidences that we are not just bodies. Today we will discuss more scientific and experimental evidences that we are something beyond this body. So our body is made up of five elements. Anyone knows what are the five elements which our body is made up of? Five basic elements. You may say our body is made up of like calcium, magnesium, and all those things. But if we just like do a like very primitive kind of categorization, then our body can be said as being made up of five elements. What are these five elements? Correct. So Akshay is writing earth, water, fire, air. Exactly. Very nice. One thing is remaining. One element is remaining still. Earth, water, fire, air, and it starts with E. Anyone else? Let's see who can find out that fifth element. Okay, no problem. Fine. You could answer this much. That is also a great thing. So the fifth element is ether. Earth, water, fire, air, and ether. So earth is the most grossest element, means most tangible, which we can touch with our hand and which is very gross. So earth is the grossest element. Subtle than earth is water. Subtle than water is fire. And subtle than fire is air. And more subtler than air also is ether. So our body is made up of these five elements. But we are not made up of these five elements. We are like a bird inside the cage. Just like a bird is there inside the cage, similarly, we, the soul, is trapped in the body made up of five elements. But what happens? The problem is that even though we are trapped inside the body, but we think that we are only this body. So because of that, what happens? We keep on taking care of the cage itself. Just for example, if you have a driver with you and you have a car with you, okay, and you just start thinking that car is only important, okay, driver is not important. So instead of feeding the driver, you keep on just polishing the car, washing the car, putting fuel inside the car, and just trying to maintain the car itself. But you are not at all taking care of the driver. Okay. So what will happen? Car will be there very nicely, but you won't be able to drive that car properly because you don't have the driver, right? Driver's food is different than car's food. It's not that just by taking care of car, driver will also be maintained, right? Driver's food maintenance is separate from the car. Similarly, if we just keep on taking care of the body, if we just imagine in your life, whatever activities you do, they are just for body. Okay. We eat food, we drink water, we do makeup, we wear nice dress, we have nice hairstyle, and what else? We take bath, we go to doctor. Whatever activities we do, they are just for body. It's like just taking care of the car. Okay. But what we are doing for soul, who we actually are. So this is a very important fact to understand because this is the reason why everyone is dissatisfied in life. You can see that there are countries which are so advanced, so developed. In America, there are so many high-tech systems and so much technology, so much advancement. But because all the advancement is dealing with only body, all advancement, all technology, everything is just dealing with body, body, body. There is no nothing, no concern about the soul. So that's why we see that even in such advanced countries also, people are suffering so much. There is hardly any like concept of marriage. More than marriage, there are divorces in America. It can't be, but there are so many divorces. There is so much relationship problem, so much anxiety people have, so much dissatisfaction people have, and even though having everything, still people are not happy because they are not feeding the actual person. They are just taking care of the covering of the person. So from this discussion till now, we understand that we are not the body, we are soul, and we need a nourishment separate from this body. Okay. Now we'll discuss few more things about this. See, all of us, we undergo six changes in our body. Okay. All of us, we undergo six changes in our body. Now, we may say that someone might say that why are you discussing about this soul, wool, वगैरह? We are all just machines. Okay. Just like nowadays we have robots, we have computer, we have artificial intelligence. So we are simply one type of robot. Okay, man is just a powerful computer or a robot. But is it really like that? We'll see how. Suppose you are having a drama is being shown to you, and you have a TV recorder. Okay, you have a drama recorded by the camera. So camera will record the drama, and what all things camera can record? What all things camera can record? Camera sound, audio,
I'm
movie,
sorry, I'm
and
sorry.
the length,
Baby,
the
I'm
length
sorry.
of the video, even like
I don't know what else to do.
the quality of the
Tell me what to
video,
do.
even that also camera can. But there are few things which the camera cannot record. What are those things? Camera cannot record the experience which we will get after seeing the video. See the same video, different people will have different experience seeing that. Someone might feel कि अरे क्या boring movie चल रही है. Someone might feel कि wow, so heart touching scene is going on. Someone might remember their own story. Someone had some girlfriend or someone had some boyfriend. They might remember their own story seeing the video. So the video is same, but different people will have different experience seeing the same video. Okay, but if you bring different cameras, Sony ka camera, then uh, different cameras, and you put all those cameras focusing on the same video. So is it that different cameras will have different record, different experiences? No, right? All the cameras will record the same movie. So they won't record the experience, but humans will record the experience also. No emotions, but humans may have different kind of feelings. Someone may feel elated, someone sorrow, someone angry, etc. There is no consciousness involved in the camera, but living being is conscious, and camera cannot judge that whether this is a good movie or bad movie, but human beings can judge. So that shows that we are not just some our eyes are not just some cameras. More example, can someone kindly read this, what this scientist is saying to Swamiji? Anyone? Omkar, can you read this? Omkar, can you kindly read this, what is written here in the dialogue?
And crashes. Why should we bother some soul powering the body?
Hmm. Thank you so much, Omkar. So here the scientist is asking Prabhupada, like Swamiji, that we are just some complex machine. Just like machines, they get born and torn and they crash. Similarly, we also, our body also gets born out and we die, right? So why to bother about some concept of soul, vagara? We are just a machine. But Swamiji gives a very strong argument against that. Can anyone else read this kindly? Akshay, can you kindly read this? What Swamiji says? Akshay, can you kindly help me read this audibly? You can unmute yourself and read it. Okay, okay, no problem. ठीक है, anyone else? Rahul? Rahul, can you kindly read this? What is written here?
Does your car or computer grow? Do you have a male or female car that can unite and produce a body car? A living body undergoes six changes, whereas matter just depreciate. It is the soul that makes living body alive.
So we are not just the machines, because machines, have you ever seen कि आपने दो डेल के लैपटॉप्स रखे हैं एक रूम में, और अगले दिन या कुछ दिनों बाद 9 महीने बाद आप आकर देखते हो तो दो डेल लैपटॉप के बाजू में एक दूसरा छोटा सा डेल लैपटॉप है, या फिर एक छोटा सा टैब पड़ा हुआ मिलता है आपको। ऐसा कभी देखा है आपने? नो, राइट? सो machines that can't reproduce, right? Machines cannot grow. They don't grow by themselves. They just, one thing only, there is only one change that happens with machines, and that one change is that with time their quality keeps on reducing. That is the only change that happens. But in case of living entities, living beings, they grow. We'll see what all changes happens in the body of a living person. We undergo six changes while matter only dwindles. A male and female living body can multiply similar species. Machines can't reproduce by union. Living body has consciousness, thinking, feeling, willing, while matter has no consciousness. So these are the six changes which all of us undergo. Birth, we all are born at some point of time. After that, what happens? After birth, what happens? After birth, what happens? What is the next change we undergo? Anyone would like to guess? I think all of you worry a lot that my answer should be perfect only. That's why like you don't answer frequently. See, it's not that your answer has to be perfect. You can just express what do you feel. If we, the more interactive we keep the session, na, the more we learn from this. So can anyone just blindly just guess what happens after birth? It's about us. It's we are not discussing some other thing. We're discussing about ourselves only. So what we experience after birth, next what happens? What can you remember about? Growth, very good. Let's see. Exactly. See how amazingly you answer exact answer. After growth, what happens? Anyone? What happens after growth? बच्चा पैदा हुआ, पैदा होने के बाद बढ़ता है, थोड़ा साइज में बढ़ता है, उसका बॉडी डेवलप होता है, उसके बाद क्या होता है इमीडिएटली आफ्टर दैट? Learning. Okay, let's see. Maintenance. Yeah, learning is a part of maintenance. We learn different things for maintaining ourselves. So maintenance, and people get married and all that thing. They start working. They produce byproducts, which machines don't do. We produce byproducts. Then the body dwindles. Dwindling means the quality of body reduces. And then later, finally, what is the last change? What is the last change that happens to a living entity? Anyone? This is a simple question. Correct. Death. Rahul said correctly, death. Finally, the last change is death. So these are the 6 changes we undergo. So this shows that we are not just some machines, because machines don't undergo all these 6 changes. Now we'll see about different coverings that we are under. So this is a very important concept. Please remember this. Whatever we are going to discuss now in this topic, please remember this. This is very important. It's one of the most important part of this whole presentation. There are 2 types of coverings we are covered with. See, first of all, we are soul, and on the soul, on above us, we have 2 types of coverings. One is gross body. Gross body मतलब हमारे हाथ, पैर, सिर, all the organs, whatever organs we have, they are gross body. So gross body is made up of 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, and ether. But this is not the only covering. More important covering than gross body is the subtle body. Okay. Inside this gross body we have a subtle body, जिसको संस्कृत में बोलते हैं सूक्ष्म शरीर, सूक्ष्म, subtle body. So what is this subtle body made up of? Subtle body is made up of mind, intelligence, and ego. Okay, mind, intelligence, and ego. So mind, intelligence, ego, they are not the product of brain. Brain is a part of gross body. Okay, but mind, intelligence, and ego are a part of subtle body. We can't say that mind, intelligence, and ego are a product of some organ, because all our organs, they are just a part of gross body. So mind, intelligence, and ego are a separate body which we have, and inside that subtle body we are present, who are souls. So soul is made up of 3 components, that is eternity, knowledge, and bliss. So these are the 3 components which we are made up of. So now you will say that how can we understand this? How can we believe that all these things are true, right? So we have we can understand this logically also, as well as we can understand it based on scriptures also. So first of all, our medical science, it deals only and only with what? Our medical science deals with what? Soul, subtle body or gross body? With what does our medical science deal with? जो भी हमारा हेल्थ मिनिस्ट्री है पूरा, हॉस्पिटल्स वगैरह, करेक्ट, सो दे ऑल डील विद अवर ग्रॉस बॉडी. All the departments of health and this medical departments, they all deal with the gross body only. Is there some department which deals with subtle body, mind, intelligence and ego? Is there some such department which deals with subtle body? Anyone knows any departments which deal with subtle body? No. Okay. There is a department which is called as psychology. Psychology, or we can either say it as psychiatry also. Psychiatrists and psychologists, they treat us on the level of subtle body. They all their in techniques link with our mind, intelligence and ego. And is there some department which deals with our soul नहीं बोलेंगे, with us as souls? So what we are discussing now, the spiritual knowledge that deals with the soul, which is made up of bliss, knowledge and eternity. Now you may wonder ki how can we understand that we are made up of bliss, knowledge and eternity? You just think for a moment, and calmly you think in your mind, and you just think and you tell me what is the basic impetus, what is the basic impetus because of which you do any activity in your life. Whatever activities you do in your life, they are just meant to attain bliss. Bliss, everyone knows what is the meaning of bliss. Is there anyone who doesn't know the meaning of bliss? They can raise their hand or they can write in the chat box. If someone doesn't know the meaning of any of these things, more specifically, if anyone doesn't know about bliss, what is the meaning of bliss? Okay, so two people are raising their hands, Akshay and Sujay. So bliss means very fulfilling happiness. Basically, bliss can be called as equal to happiness, but it is more deeper than happiness. It is more superlative degree of happiness. So that is bliss. Ananda. In Hindi we say na Ananda. So that is bliss. So all of us, we are just doing everything to get bliss. We are just doing everything to get happiness. Whatever we eat, whatever we do, whatever stunts we do, whatever professions we do, whatever relationships we have, they all are meant to get bliss in our life. So that is a natural propensity which we have. Okay, that is the natural inclination which we have, that we always want bliss. Also, whatever activities we do, we want to get complete knowledge about the things, right? Why do people read newspapers? Why do people watch news? Why do people do all this scientific advancement, scientific inquiry? It is all simply because they all want to get complete knowledge about things, about their surroundings. So we can see that knowledge is also a natural inclination that we have. And most important, eternity. Do any of us want to die? No, right? Death. Death is the most fearful experience for us. Death is the most fearful experience for us. Now, suppose if you are a body, okay, if you forget that we are soul and what all things, if you just believe that you are this body. So body, by default, the nature of body is that it will grow, maintain, and then finally it will die. It will get finished. So if we are the body, then we should be okay with getting finished. We should be okay कि ठीक है, I am this body and body gets finished, so no problem, I will get finished sometime. But do you ever think that there will be some day where we will stop existing? Like you all might be now having this age of around 20 to 30. So just imagine after 40 50 years, 40 50 years from now, around now it's 2020 now. So suppose 2070, 2070, none of you will be existing like this. What to speak of you, even I will not be existing like this, right? So do we ever think that we will stop existing someday? No, right? हम कभी भी नहीं सोचते कि हमारा एग्जिस्टेंस कभी खत्म होगा. But why we don't think? We are this body and body is meant to be finished. So we should be also aware that we will be finished someday. But still we don't want to be finished. We want to live permanently. We want to live eternally. Eternity means permanence, permanent, being permanent. So none of us want to get finished. We all want to live till eternity. That itself means that this tendency to live eternally is our by default nature. So, from this, we understand that we are always hankering after bliss, knowledge, and to live eternally. So, these are our default nature, by default nature. But what happens when we start, when we forget that we are soul? We start identifying with our mind, intelligence, and ego. Then, if someone hurts our ego, अगर कोई हमारे ego को hurt करता है, then we become depressed. If someone hurts our body, or if we lose our body at the time of death or disease, we become unhappy because we identify with our body, either gross or subtle. But if we understand, if we realize that we are not this body, we are soul, then nothing can disturb our happiness, because our by default nature is happiness and eternity and knowledge. Just for example, like suppose any of you, do you have any car with you, or any bike, two wheeler or four wheeler? Any of you have? Whoever has, please raise your hands. Whoever has any kind of automobile with them. Sujay has, Rahul has. What about others? Akshay, Avinash, Omkar. Okay, so you don't have, no problem. So suppose someone takes a bat and he completely completely he destroys the automobile that Rahul has. राहुल, आपकी जो गाड़ी है, either टू व्हीलर फोर व्हीलर, कोई भी लेके बैठ से उसको पूरा तोड़ फोड़ कर देता है पूरा. How will you feel? हाँ राहुल, how will you feel? You will feel like killing that person. Right? You'll feel very bad. Right? But why we should feel bad? That car or whatever it is, that is separate from us. Right? वो बैट से कार को मार रहा है, हमको थोड़ी मार रहा है. And that is beating just the car, that's not beating us. But what happens, because we are so much attached to that car, we so much identify with that car कि ये कार मेरी कार है, ये मेरी कार को कैसे मार सकता है कोई, right? मेरी कार को कोई कैसे तोड़ फोड़ सकता है? So means we attach our emotions to that car. So that's why if someone hurts the car, I feel bad, right? Similarly, because we are attached emotionally to this body, either subtle or gross, that's why if somehow our body gets hurt, our happiness also get disturbed. So this is the reason why we get disturbed in our life. So there is a way how to detach ourselves from this body. So detaching doesn't mean that we will stop caring about the body. We'll definitely care about this body because we are in this body. if this body is not there, we will not be able to do our work. So body is an important instrument for us. But if we are too much attached to the body, then we are unable to get complete happiness in our life. So that's why it is important to be responsible for the body, but to be detached emotionally from the body. We'll discuss more on that in our further sessions. So now, very important part, scientific proofs. Till now we discussed all from the point of view of logic. Everything whatever we discussed was logical. But now we will discuss scientifically that who we are. So we'll see some scientific proofs for existence of an antimaterial personality. This is a simple truth that common sense, from common sense logical point of view, when a person dies, we say she has passed away. Who has passed away? The body is still there. Actually, the soul has passed away. So this is common sense. Then another is consciousness. This also we discussed that if we keep a camera in some place, camera can only detect red light. Camera will not have any feelings seeing this scene. It will only say that I see red light, I see red light. But if some people are there, they will seeing this scene, they may remember their happy memories of youth. See, this happy memories, they are nowhere related to this red light. But why it is related in their mind? Because it triggers some kind of memories that they have. So consciousness means to be aware, thinking, feeling, willing, and intentionality. Then third is very mysterious one, and this is near death experience and out of body experience. So we'll quickly watch this very interesting video, and with this video we will end the session, and the further things we will discuss in our next meeting. This very interesting video from National Geographic channel. If you are unable to see the video or the audio, if you are unable to hear, please express using the chat box.
In Germany, Christina's doctors are also losing their battle. Her heart will not restart. She has just minutes before her brain too shuts down.
Es wurden Defibrillationsschocks
We were trying to jumpstart her heart with a defibrillator.
zum Schlagen zu bringen. Gleichzeitig
We gave her
dazu
several
auf der
drugs.
Seite mehrere Medikamente. Der Patientin hatte zu viel Blut.
The patient had lost too much blood. Her organs weren't getting enough.
Wo kein Mensch und ich am wenigsten
We really didn't think we could save her.
erfolgreich sein können.
Because Christina's heart has stopped pumping, many would consider her dead. Yet something seems to be happening with her mind.
Das nächste, was ich wieder weiß, ist, ja, dass ich wohl unter der Decke.
Next thing I know, I was hovering underneath the ceiling of the room. I could see down on myself laying on the operating table. And I saw the surgeons and heard them talking to each other. The scenario was pretty hectic. I realized that this was about life or death.
To help understand near-death experiences, some researchers focus on the content of these episodes.
A common element that occurs early in near-death experiences is what's called an out-of-body experience. At that time, the person seems to be able to see and hear things going on, but up from the vantage point above their body.
In Germany,
Yeah, so this was a case of, this was one of the cases amongst thousands of cases. This was one amongst thousands of cases of near-death experience more specifically out of body experience. See how amazing it is. 11 to 14% of the average American population who are mentally and physically healthy. They are not mad. These people who are saying that we had out of body experience, these are mentally and physically healthy people. They have had OBE, and this is not what I am saying. This is from the Medical Journal of Current Problems in Pediatrics. 11 to 14% of average American population states that they have had OBE. OBE means out of body experience. Enough research in NDE. NDE means near death experience with impeccable scientific credentials. So now we'll see another short video about near death experience.
In Germany, Christina's doctors are also.
We were trying to jumpstart her heart with a
Too shuts down. She has just will not restart. She has just minutes before her brain too pumping. Many would
Self laying on the operating table.
Okay, this
And I
video
saw the
we have
surgeon.
already seen. This is the same video which you already saw. See, so many books have been written on this out of body or near death experiences. So it is not just some fiction. There are so much research going on in this field. So you can see here this Michael Newton is a PhD and he has written on this journey of souls. So these are not just some fiction writers. These are big scientists who have written about all these things. So great amount of tangible research is going on in this field. Now this is the most important, most interesting part, which is reincarnation research. So Punarjanam, now we came to this topic of reincarnation. Is it a reality or is it just some fantasy? So as this is a very important topic, we won't like to leave it in between. So we will start with this topic in our next session on the coming weekend. Okay, where we will discuss about this very great scientist also, Ian Stevenson, who has extensively investigated over how many cases? 2000 cases of reincarnation. It's not 2 or 20 or 200, it's 2000 cases. So we'll do all this discussion in our next session. So I am very grateful to all of you for attending this session, taking out your valuable time. If any of you have any questions, please raise your hand. We will restart the meeting if any of you has any questions. The meeting is going to end, but we'll reconnect if any one of you has any questions or anything you want to discuss. Please raise your hand quickly. Okay, fine. So thank you very much. We'll meet next Saturday.